What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today, hey, look, we're here, we're going to review the second test match between Australia and Sri Lanka. Oh man, so look, that's the end of the second test match. There was only 2 test matches to be played. I also believe this is the end of the tour as well, of our tour of Sri Lanka. So firstly, I just want to say a big, thank you to Sri Lanka for, obviously hosting the tournament, well, not the tournament, hosting this entire series, this entire tour. All the fans, every game has been packed out with fans. Sri Lanka is going through a really, really tough time as a country right now. And obviously we send all of our love over to Sri Lanka, but the fact they've able to, still put on this show for this entire last 2.5 months has been simply incredible. So firstly, just a little clap, a big clap clap for Sri Lanka for just putting on an incredible tour. And yeah, the people of Sri Lanka are just incredible. To be able to go into every single game, packing out the crowds, a lot of the Sri Lankans getting behind Australia to win at times as well. Inspirational, and you love to see it, so shout out to Sri Lanka. Alright, now that we've got all the positivity out of the way, this is where we start the rant. So if you guys aren't interested in listening to me complain for the next probably 15 minutes, then I would suggest clicking off, because alright, we've got Team Australia. We lost this second test match, which, it's okay to lose. Losing is how you learn and get better. But when you lose like this, when you lose like this, things have to be said and things have to change. I do not care whose feelings might get hurt, which players might be upset. We're just going to go through this and we're going to tear it down from start to finish. Let's go. I'm here and I'm a little bit angry. I'm a little bit mad, if you can't tell. All right, let's go through it. Player of the series was Dinesh Chandimal. He hit 150 not out, and then I think he had a pretty good score in the first test, so that makes sense. Player of the match, the man that won Sri Lanka this game, Prabhath Jayasuriya. I also believe he was on debut as well. Yeah, so he was on test debut as well, and he took 12 wickets on debut. One of the best debuts you'll see from a Sri Lankan spinner. I'm sure the last one was probably Murali, who would have held that record, but really, really good. He completely tore us apart in that second innings for us, and we just could not play him. We could not pick him, could not play him, and it shows as soon as, there's a lot of spin and, they've got a quality spinner, we are no match for any team in the world. And that is the sad truth at the moment, is that this Australian team is not prepared to play against spin in any shape or form. When it gets tough, when the spin starts getting tough, we're useless. And that might sound harsh, but there has been nothing to prove to me so far that we are able to last out a full match from, great spin. I haven't been proved that yet. We didn't see that in the Pakistan series. We haven't seen that in this series. We haven't seen an Australian team be able to play spin, properly since 2002. So, a little bit worrying, but I guess all you can do is move on and learn. So, hey, we're going to go through it. We're not going to, go through every little thing. All right, Australia, we had our first innings. Look, Kawaja, I was about to say great, not great. You know what? Let's move on past the other stuff. Let's just go through the big stuff. But Labuschagne, of course, 104, his first century outside of Australia. So, firstly, a congratulations to the big bus man himself. He was great. Steve Smith, he gets another century. Finally. Whew, it's been a little bit of a drought. I was a little bit worried for Steve, I'm not going to lie, but he gets there. 145 not out of 272 deliveries with 16 fours. That is Steve Smith, and that is why why he is one of the best test batsmen in the world. I mean, that's pretty simple. Like, that's it was a great knock. Travis Head, he went for 12. Cam Green for 4. Carey, 28. Stark, yeah, the tail enders, whatever. The bowlers, of course, J.S. Araya took a 6-for in the first innings. Thik Sharna, he was really good as well. So, you know what? This Sri Lankan team on home soil is actually quite good. Like, you know, they did have a few out as well, and they were really, really good throughout this entire game. Especially with ball in hand, they were fantastic. This Sri Lankan team. All right, I mean, Sri Lanka, their first innings was just so dominant and almost ruled out the match straight away. As soon as I saw that man, Dinesh Chandimal, get that, you know, that 100, it looked like he was going to go on and probably get a double ton. He did exactly that, and he was fantastic. I mean, you get, you know, these partnerships at the top. Karuna Ratne, 86. Kusal Mendez, 85. Angelo Matthews, 52. And then you get Dinesh Chandimal hitting 206. Not out. Kamindu Mendez, he hits a 61. You know, you get some late runs from Ramesh Mendez. Like, some of this stuff is so important, and it just showed that this, like, we just did not stand up, you know, with bat in hand especially. But let's go through our bowlers, because, you know what, there is probably a few things we need to speak about in this bowling department, especially in these sort of conditions. Look, Mitchell Stark, 4 for 89 off 29 overs. He's still a superstar. He's still one of the best pace bowlers in the world. Cool, we know that. The skipper, Mr. Cummo, 1 for 95 off 30 overs. They're bowling lots of overs, aren't they? Nathan Lyon bowled 64 overs. 2 for 194. Now, that's, you know, that's okay. Cameron Green. Now, this is where we come to our first question mark. None for 20 off 6. Now, look, it's like, you know, you look at the figures and he bowled okay. None for 20 off 6. There's nothing that's bad about that. There's nothing that's, you know, good about that either. But it's just a bit of useless bowling. Like, why did we need a medium pace bowler? Well, no, he's not medium pace. He bowls 140 plus. But why did we need another, you know, part-time pace bowler, if you will, bowling 6 just useless overs that didn't mean anything? Like, I understand if it's with the old ball and maybe you want to get some pace down there, or you just want to change things up. I understand, but like, what's the point of playing Cameron Green on a deck that we knew was going to be a spin-friendly pitch? We knew the deck was going to be nothing but spin-friendly come the end of day 4, day 5. So instead, we decided to pick Cameron Green over Glenn Maxwell. And you guys already know my thoughts on Glenn Maxwell. Should have been playing the first test match. He should have played the second test match. He should have been playing test cricket this last 4 years. Like, the Aussie selectors really, really get under my skin sometimes. I know it's a tough job, and I know you can't always get the right decisions, but, you know, it just made zero sense to me. You know, before the test match started, there was all of this talk about, oh, Glenn Maxwell might play instead of Mitchell Stark, and I was thinking, I'm happy Maxwell might play, but why the F would we pick Maxwell in front of Stark? Like, that makes no sense. Wouldn't you get rid of an all-rounder for another all-rounder who bowls spin instead of pace? That would have been the obvious choice. We didn't do it. I mean, it just made zero sense to me. And I reckon if George Bailey had his time again picking this 11, he would have picked Maxwell 10 times out of 10. So, yeah. I mean, you look at this. Travis Head, none for 27 off 8. Like, are you serious? Like, why is Travis Head bowling 8 overs? With all due respect, I mean, he did take, what, a 4-for in the first test, but he is a part-timer who is nothing more than maybe a wicket every now and then. But instead, we have a quality red ball spinner sitting on the goddamn bench, just doing nothing. But instead, we just have a part-timer bowl 8 overs, goes for 27 runs. We have Cameron Green, who bowled 6 overs of, you know, tight length, good bowling, but just useless bowling. Like, it's not going to contribute a hell of a lot to the game. Instead, we could have had Maxwell, and he would have not only provided us another option at number 7 as a batsman, he just would have given another at least 15 overs of spin. You know, it would have given Swexon, it would have given Nathan Lyon a chop out instead of bowling 64 overs, ladies and gentlemen. That is too many. Like, I would have seen Gaz maybe bowl 54, 53, and then you can give another, 10 to Glenn Maxwell, or, you take Travis Head's overs and give, 15 to Maxwell. I would have much rather see that, but I guess the selectors know better. Obviously they know better, but it just makes no sense. And then you keep going down. Oh no, we did already speak about Labuschagne bowling 6 overs as well. It just, I don't get it. I don't understand what our thought process going into this tour really was. Like, even in the T20s and ODIs, we didn't really experiment that much, which I thought was pretty disappointing considering we're in, like, just do something different. Like, do you want to... Let's go on, because there's still more to talk about. My rant's not over, everyone. My rant is far from over. All right, now into the batting side of things. Oh, boy. All right, so, look, Sri Lanka, their first innings, 554. So, if you needed any confirmation that the pitch was in, you could make runs on this deck. Yes, you could. They made 554, and then just 30 minutes later, we went out there to bat, and we got bowled out for 151. Explanation? Like, what the fuck? Essentially, like, I'm sorry, YouTube, I have to let the F-bomb go. What the fuck are we doing? You're telling me that Sri Lanka were out there for 2 days and they made 554, but 30 minutes later, we go out there to bat in our second innings and we get bowled out in about 2 hours for 151? Are you serious? Like, are you dead set serious? I could not believe my eyes. Don't get me wrong, it was some pretty good bowling from the man J.S. Araya. Can't doubt that whatsoever, but there were some dismissals. There were some shot choices. There were some just cricket IQ decisions that I could not believe. I thought I was watching an under-10 village game. Like, seriously, for guys who were getting, $500,000 plus a year, you got to be pretty professional, and I didn't see that at all from some of the people. All right, let's start from the top. David Warner, 24. We love David. He's okay. Uzi, of course, he's all good. Labuschagne, all good. Look, obviously these are not good scores, but I saw something from these top 3. David Warner just, at the end of the day, so did Labuschagne. They both got some pretty solid deliveries. When you go out LB to a man, J.S. Araya, who was just absolutely, like, spinning that ball for miles. Got Smith out for LB. Ramesh Mendez bowled Travis Head for 5. Like, he got a good delivery as well, but we can always sit here and say it was just good bowling, but it is possible to just be good batting as well. And considering Sri Lanka made 554 just for a day and a 2 before, and literally 30 minutes before we went out there to bat, the man Chandimal was hitting boundaries for fun, but the second we get out there, no, we can't even chase down 150 runs to make them follow on, to make them bat again. I don't know. Cam Green, 23 off 32, maybe I sound a bit harsh because he gave it everything. That is everything you're going to get from Cameron Green. He's going to give it 1,000,000,000% every time. He is full of heart. He is one of the best, red ball all-rounders we've seen ever. And I know that's already an early call, but he seriously is. But in spinning conditions, please, for the love of God, just play Glenn Maxwell. Not only does he bowl spin in spinning conditions, he can bat very, very well in spinning conditions. That is his number one thing. He is a beautiful player of spin. But instead, we just sat him on the bench and said, hey, Maxie, would you like to, stir up some Gatorade? Come on. Carey not out for 16. Nothing there. Stark gone. Cummins 16. It was just over. And, look at this fall of wickets. We started so well. 1 for 49, whatever. And then the wickets just kept tumbling. 2 for 59, 3 for 59, 4 for 74, 5 for 112, 6 for 117, 7 for 117, 8 for 144, 9 for 150, and 10 for 151 all out. Embarrassed is the first word I would think of. And if I'm in that changing room, if I'm Pat Cummins, the skipper, I'm telling the coach, Andrew McDonald, you stay out of this goddamn room. I don't want to have you anywhere near this group right now. I want to talk to my boys by myself. And I hope Pat Cummins absolutely rips into every single one of them and, reminds them of what they did and what just happened. I mean, Nathan Lyon, Mitchell Swepson just bowled 100 overs combined in one innings. Just for them to have to go out there an hour later, bat and go out and get embarrassed. It's just no responsibility from the top order, and that has been a problem for Australia overseas for a long time. On home soil, we can look like flat track bullies, and in England as well. The pitches are quite similar to Australia, obviously, so we're able to kind of keep the same squad and stuff like that. But we have to start changing things for overseas cricket. When we go to India next year, I want to see Agar on the tour. I want to see any of the spinners. I want to see Lloyd Pope out there. I want to see Swepson. I want to see Gaz. I want to see, maybe Matt Kuhneman. I want to see a bunch of 5 to 6 really, really good spinners to go to that tour and play almost every single one of them. That's what I want to see. Will the selectors have the balls to do it? Probably not, but if that's what I'd be doing if I was the coach. Alright, maybe that is rant over. Let's look at what is next for both countries. For Team Australia, our next cricket games are a long, long way away. So I don't have to watch Australian cricket for a good month and a bit now, which is a little bit annoying actually, because we've played some really, I don't want to be rude, but we've played a little bit of boring cricket in the last 7 months. We had the tour in Pakistan, which was just flat pitches. And then we've come to Sri Lanka and we've lost the last game of the tour. It was a great series, but it just feels a little bit, lost for hope. But then we're going to play my home nation of Zimbabwe in August, which is going to be outrageous. I really, really hope the Zimbabwe and Australia both decide to fly me out to that one. I also believe the man Andy Flower will be there. So if Andy Flower needs someone to sit next to, I'll be here, my old friend. And I believe the trophy might be called... I was trying to think of something funny. I can't. Hey, that's okay. Hey, we're going to move on. That is what's up next for Team Australia. Ages away. And hey, we lose. So that's just the best thing to happen. We lose in the last match of the tour. That's great. Rant over. Let me know your thoughts on the game. And I'll see everyone in the next one.